Alright. Got an Arcane Mage VOD review here. We're gonna turn this off, sound off there.
I present a lucrative opportunity.
We got two full 6-round shuffles Arcane Mage gameplay. We're gonna start with Empyrean
For
Domain.
those who prove
See what we got here.
of the task.
Okay.
Many
So we got a
in the
Boomy
contest are
MM.
wagering on who
Ellie, I think. Lobby.
to
With
influence
H-Pal Holy Priest. See how this goes. Let's let the gameplay play out, speak for itself. We go from there.
Do not let the cartel down. We expect a return on our investment.
Can't tell if you're playing Spellslinger or Sunfury, but it seems like in PvP nowadays, Arcane Mages are opting to play Sunfury. It's apparently the better hero talent choice now. I haven't actually tried much of it yet because I haven't been Arcane PvPing as much, but I think I'm going to give it a go today. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll keep you posted on how it feels. But I think it's the go-to right now. So if you're not playing it already, we'll find out, I guess. I'd recommend doing that. Okay, we're getting the barrages out. Okay, we got your Trophy GCD in the bottom right corner here, so we can see your globals. It's good. You're spamming your barrages, getting the chrono shifts up, getting your tempos up. Oh, you were playing Blink Stun. Okay. Try to go for the sheep. Get kicked. Port back. Try to go for the surge. Get beamed. Block. Ooh, okay. So block coming out. First 20 seconds of the round. Probably not ideal. Let's go back here. Let's see what led to these events. Or what events led to this. So, okay, you get Binding Shot. You blink it. You try to sheep priest and then get kicked. Okay, so I would try not to force CC too much. Especially because the game just started. They have Hunter Kick. They have Beam. The priest has Shadow Word Death. He has Fade. They can Chast you. They can, you know, they have so many stops that I wouldn't even recommend attempting to poly here. Also, I don't think I'd recommend playing Ice Flows for Blink Stun either. I think it's okay to play into Rogues. But aside of that, I think Shimmer is the more consistent, solid option. I like what you're doing up until this point, just barraging everything, getting your tempos up, getting the chrono shifts out. But just be very careful. Like, the reason you don't want to go for CC here, again, is because it's going to be nearly impossible to get because there's like a million stops. And secondly, if you get kicked, you can't utilize your a lot of your defensive buttons, which is why you end up having to block. So let's see what happens here. So I think you get kicked twice in a row. So you get kicked on Poly here, front by Hunter, and then you try to get it. You port back and you try to surge the Boomy, and then you get beamed on Arcane. So, and then you get really low and end up blocking. You probably didn't need to block there, but you really need to be careful opening up your school because remember. You want to be blocking last. You want to get your other damage mitigation buttons out. So, firstly, you want a mirror image for 25% damage reduc. I think it actually might be 20 if you're playing Sunfury. You want to get this out as soon as possible. This is going to be like your first trade. I usually say Altar's your first trade, but mirror image is you probably press that first along with your Altar, so that way you have 20% damage reduc. And if you do get kicked, at least you have that up, right? So, like, after this, even if you got kicked here, first global out of this lockout would be mirror images. Right here, displace is fine. It should be mirror images, shield, and then try to recover, top up, then Altar. And then at least during this beam, you have that. But again, casting Surge here is also risky because they still have kicks, right? So then we end up blocking. Again, not ideal. But at this point, I think you can get Surge off because you have no kicks. Okay, get your Surge off. Missiles. Okay, I'm looking at your globals in the bottom right. So you Surge, touch, missiles, palm, blast, barrage. Okay. So in terms of the rotation, you want to, as soon as you Surge, you want to barrage, then touch. You don't want to touch next global. You want to barrage so it refreshes your tempos. And so you can get the extra damage into your touch from the barrage. Ideally, you want to be barraging with 4 arcane charges here too. So here, I would actually like use my clear cast here and then surge. And then again, I would touch barrage, same global, because barrage touch, because touch is off global. And then here I notice you missiles. So you use 3 clear casts in a row, which is not terrible because you're getting these arcane debilitation stacks up, which makes them take increased damage. But the problem with this is every time you consume a clear cast, you get nether precision buff, right? Which buffs your next 2 blast and barrages. So you want to be min-maxing that a little bit more. Let me show you what I mean by that. So right here, I have nether precision. I have 2 stacks of it. When you barrage touch, you want to be using these. So that's a nether position right there. And then clear cast again, you get 2 more nether positions. Use these nether positions. And then missile again. Consume these nether positions. And then missile again. You know? It's really important you do that because with nether precision, you're buffing your blast barrage by 20%. And it's 2 stacks of it every clear cast you consume. So the whole point of arcane burst is to get as many barrages out as possible with this buff. So if you're missiling 3 times in a row, you're missing out on 4 to 6 stacks of nether precision, amping your damage, right? So try to kind of weave them in a little more. It's okay to use 2 clear casts in a row, but try to get a little bit more nether precision value here. 2 is fine. But after this point, I would look to probably palm blast twice. That way, your touch and palm don't get desynced either. It's really important to keep these cooldowns together as much as possible. And chat, I am live right now, so I will be playing season 1 of MOP. Yes, I will be. But yeah, missiles. You palm blast here. And then you barrage. And then see how you blasted twice right there, which consumed your 2 nether positions. Now your big barrage at the end there with big arcane harmonies is not buffed, amplified by nether precision because you've already soaked it twice. So you want to try to weave in a missile right in between these blasts to refresh your nether precisions. And then barrage, so it's amplified, if that makes sense. And now you have so many modifiers because he has 40 stacks of arcane debilitation. You have tons of arcane harmony stacks because you've done 3 missiles in a row. And then you'd be barraging with 4 charges while they're kind of stacked up a little bit. So you're getting that the funnel damage in. Using a little bit of PvE lingo right here, but this sort of stuff helps your surge window crank extra hard. So these little things are pretty important to min-max. I do like that you did surge the boomy here, though. I would have done the same thing. He's right in my face, and I like going boomies. They're a good target, and if you need to slow down the game, you can actually sheep the hunter, the off target. Whereas, if you're going hunter, you can't really sheep the boomy, right? So it's good target choice. I would just look to min-max that a little bit more. Nether precision. Try to be aware of that. I see you have a weak ward for it too, so look to consume those more. Also, if you don't have palm blast, don't be afraid to just barrage anyways, because there's a high chance that you're gonna proc an orb and refresh these charges. And if you don't, you still have 2 charges of orb, right? To refresh the charges to continue barraging out your nether precisions. And then again, you still have so many clear casts, so you can refund your nether precisions back. The only upside to using that many missiles in a row, again, is high stacks of arcane debilitation. But using 3 in a row is a little bit overkill, in my opinion. And then on top of that, like I mentioned earlier, it's good to use your arcane, your mirror images early, alter early. That way, you have damage mitigation, damage reduction for yourself while you're bursting, right? Okay, let's see what happens here. Can we Ring of Frost? Enemy priest is an angel. I know this is a 2k MMR lobby, so the higher you get, this is gonna be harder to do. But at this MMR, you could probably look to instead of Ring of Frosting right here, you could actually drop a ring on the enemy angel with the edge, right? When there's 2 seconds left of this angel, and you could probably snipe a ring on the healer at this MMR. The better priest will have a cancel angel death or fade macro. But at this MMR, I highly doubt it. So I would look to maybe do plays like that rather than just rando ringing right there. Little things like that. And then probably purge a little bit more. Looking at your globals, you're not spell stealing enough, I think. And still, again, you still haven't used your mirrors. Press that ASAP. It's a very short CD and it CDRs itself. See, you pressed it now. Okay, that's good. You OP barrier shimmer. You shift back your CDs. Don't be afraid to send your dam redux, right? You also have greater invis. You should be pressing these buttons right here. I'm going to highlight them. These should all come out before your block. What else? And then where's your display? So your displays is right there. Yeah. Make sure those are on CD before block. Because, like, if you do lose this game, I think there might be a high chance of losing this game because you don't have block. Or maybe, yeah. Let me go back a little bit here. The shift is pretty high value, though. You're shifting back your touch palm and surge. Now you have your touch again here, which I think you send on the boomy. See barrage, palm, touch, missiles. Okay, let me go back here. One sec. Missiles, blast. Okay. Again, try to in terms of min-maxing your touch goes. See your rotation. Try to get 4 charges if possible. Then a barrage, touch while the barrage is in the air, and then don't palm so early because if you do get locked, your palm's gonna be grayed out, and then it's a high chance to desync with your touch. So look to palm when you're actually gonna be blasting. So it would be barrage touch, right? Barrage touch, missiles, and then if you have 4 charges at the time, then you'll press palm blast. So right here it'd be missiles and then palm blast. Those would be your next global, instead of chaining multiple missiles right there, like 3 missiles. I think as long if that's correct. I know it's like little things, but these little things that matter a lot. The boomy does go down still though, so that's good. These things will make your touch explosion way bigger at the end, which you know, a more deadly touch is always good. He actually dies before the touch explodes there, but yeah, just those are the things I would take away from that first round. Using your smaller defensives earlier, not opening up your school so much, or your arcane school with forcing polys too early, and working on that damage rotation. Again, I'm just gonna demonstrate it again here. So the game starts, right? You're barraging this guy, slowing this guy with barrage, slowing this guy, getting your tempos up. If you have a missile, send it in, and then you're gonna evo. Hopefully, maybe you can like juke kicks here and there with a poly, and then again mirror image early, alter early. You're gonna surge, touch, barrage touch. I got an intuition proc, so I'm gonna send that, and then missiles, and then now palm blast for nether positions, and then missiles again to get more nether positions. Barrage, and then like send your orbs and stuff if you need charges, and then continue to crank like that. But again, you'll notice I utilize my nether positions a little bit more there. You can slow down the video half speed and like look at my globals there. And you'll also see that I'm like juking by stop casting my missiles mid-cast. It's really important. I recommend this to all new arcane mages to go to your keybinds, go down to miscellaneous, and bind stop casting. I have it set to 10 on my Naga because like missiles, you can channel them while running, right? Normally you would move to stop casting, but since you can channel them while running, you have to have a stop cast bind. And then like right there, you could juke a kick, proc a precog, now you can free sheep, right? Like those things are actually mandatory as an arcane mage. You can just alternatively press escape to stop casting too, but you know, you can find a more comfortable bind for that. I highly recommend that. You'll proc triple the precogs you are now if you don't have a stop cast bind, that is. The funny thing is, like, that's not a bind you would normally need playing any other spec in the game, but it's just like a purely an arcane thing. I guess maybe you could have it as Disc Priest too, like penance while running.
Do not let the content down. We expect a return on our investment.
What else can channel while running? I don't think much, right? Doing a VOD review right now, can't do twos. Doing a viewer VOD review. Okay, so you're surging the totem. Okay. You could do that. Let me go back. Surging pets and totems behind pillars are a great way to get it off. I like that, but at this point, just with how the enemy team's position, the shaman's all the way over here, the hunter's still in stealth. I would just spam barrage right now on these totems to get your arcane tempos to 5 stacks, so you have like a good lead, I guess, in terms of like your pre-builds. And then you still need to like evo too, so it's good. This is like a good tech to do, surging a totem, but like there's a little bit more things to do on the priority list, I guess. I would barrage, get your tempos up, and then evo, and then look to maybe surge a totem. By then, maybe the hunter's out. You surge though. Okay. Okay, now you're evoing. Okay, and then you get kick from hunter out of stealth. Right here again, my first global out of this binding shot or kick would be mirror image altar, and then look to missiles the hunter, barrage touch, palm blast blast. That's how I would start, because now you've already got your evo off, you already have your surge off, right? You trinket. Okay, I wouldn't trinket there because you're kicked arcade anyways, right? The kick duration and the binding stun duration are like almost equal, maybe off by a little bit right here, because you get binding right here. I mean, it's like a second longer on the stun. I would just sit the stun, or even just spam blink. You can blink the last second of it. And then again, it would be mirrors, alter. You're kind of low to alter now. It'd be mirror shield at this point then, because you don't want to alter low. You're playing OP barrier, so your shield's going to be very big. But shield, maybe shield mirrors, and then let's see what happens. So you touch. See how you're touching here? You don't want to just touch from air. You want a barrage touch. So the barrage is in the air. Then you're touching and the barrage is connecting into the touch. Again, that's going to make your touch explode way bigger at the end. And you're also refreshing your tempos before your go. Multiple reasons why that's good. And again, one more time, you need to put some damage mitigation up. Because like, look how low you are. You're bursting him, but he's full HP, and you're bursting him. You're 20%, 15%, right? You need some damage mitigation for your burst phase. Don't be greedy with your mirror images. This is like first send. As soon as you see enemy CDs, boom, like no questions, you press that. Let me go back a little here. I want to see your rotation. So you touch missiles. Again, you have nether precisions here, so it'd probably be palm blast blast. You shield. Missiles again. Okay. Palm blast blast. Okay. It's all right to missiles twice for higher debilitation stacks. That's fine. Missiles, barrage. Okay, so you're missiling too much. So you're overcapping on nether positions and arcane harmonies up here. If you know that, like, every time you missile, it's gonna buff your next barrage. You're just way overcapping on this. You could like have refreshed this to cap 4 times by now. You know what I mean? Some barrages. So that's your first barrage. Yeah, I would barrage way earlier. And then in terms of positioning, like play a little bit more near the pillar. So that way you can peek in and out of the pillar, lime aim shots. Again, you're a little bit in the open and you're still refusing to press mirror images. Little things like this. Okay, you're shifting in the open, okay. At least you're shifting your offenses back. But again, it's good that you're shifting all your offensive CDs back, but like imagine you'd be getting double the value if you're shifting back your images, your G and Viz, your mass barrier, your alter, stuff like that. You want to be shifting back everything, right? I'm going to go back again. I just want to see what we forced defensively from the enemy team during your surge, if anything at all.
Victory is clear. Our bargain is up.
Okay, he rossed. He walled. Okay. Again, nice thing about playing Shimmer is like you can blink mid missile cast like behind him during this aim shot, right? You can like blink through him like right before the cast goes off and avoid that damage. Like same thing with like Chaos Bolts, for example. And then he'll 180, right? He'll 180 and then try to aim shot you again. And now you can displace back to where you blink from at 90% cast again. He tries to aim shot you again, boom, you can shimmer through again while just missiling, palm blasting, barraging, missiling. You're just cranking him while he can't even get an aim shot on you, right? And then also you can shimmer back to the pillar while you have 20% damage reduction from mirror image, 60% damage reduction from G invis, and then you're shifting everything back behind the pillar. You can be like way more of a nuisance for them, right? But yeah, you force Ross and AWOL. That's fine. I think Hunter is a fine target choice here as well. Like generally, when you're fighting too ranged, like my mindset is just hit the closest target. And at this point, it's the Hunter, right? That's the closest target. Obviously, conditions change throughout the round. Like maybe like at one point, you know, the Sham has no wall and no burrow, maybe because the Boomy decided to touch him. Conditions change, but generally speaking, early in the game, you're just gonna not force one target, just hit the closest, stay near the pillar. Again, yeah, I would like to see you spell steal a little bit more. Like all these trash buffs are great to get, especially when you don't have burst CDs. It's very high value to just start pre-cleaning your target. That way, when you do a touch go or a surge touch go, they're stripped of buffs, right? So you shift back your offensives again, and let's see your next touch. Let's see how this next touch looks. Yeah, make sure to be barraging to chrono shift slow people, refresh your tempos. You don't want your tempos to fall off. I currently don't see tempo. Okay, there's the tempo weak where I see right there. Yeah, see these tempos? Keep those up as much as possible. To get yeah, so it falls there. Not sure why you're fire blasting there. Probably not the highest global. You're spamming out slows, but again, barraging to slow them would be higher value here. Because it's killing two birds with one stone, right? Because you're slowing them with barrage, but also getting haste tempo stacks. Okay, now you have your touch. Your second touch comes out here. Let's see what happens. So you touch again. I'm sure like after this VOD review, you're gonna start barrage touching, but I can't stress this enough. You got to get in the habit of barrage then touching. Ideally with 4 charges, but you know sometimes it's out of your control, right? Just one way to keep your tempo stacks uptime high as possible. Okay, again at your palm, you palm here, blast. Okay, you get trapped. I would look to blast the hunter ASAP out of this. Okay, you barrage instead, but now see this becomes awkward. You barrage instead, so you have no charges now, but you still have the palm buff, and now it's grayed out, and it's getting desynced with your touch, right? And now this becomes very awkward. Sheep the hunter, okay. I would just do damage, and careful. Like it's good that you went behind the pillar, but I would try to play on the same side of the pillar as your healer, because now this makes it awkward for the healer. He has to come to this side to heal you, but then the other guy, his boomy's on the other side, right? So try to play on the same side of a pillar. Let me go back here. So you blink back. It's good to LOS a bit. Let me see. Do you have shift here? I don't think you do. I'm trying to look at your action bars. Still not used to where your spells are placed. Okay, no, you don't have shift. But again, this is fine, but I would peek this way and just start missiling the hunter. And like get your palm blast out, because the more you wait, the more this is desyncing, right? So like play on the other side of the pillar, right? And just crank him. Palm blast, barrage, missiles, barrage, use those nether precisions, right? Oh, and then you block here. See, that's horrible block. You can't be blocking like this. Let's see. Okay, you get intim stunned. Oh, okay, you get intim stunned, and then you didn't have a blink out of this because you blinked already. But imagine, like right now, if you were on the other side of the pillar, your paladin could heal you, and you probably wouldn't have to block here. Also, I think you could have helped block regardless here. I don't think that aim shot would have crit you for 5 mil. I could be wrong. But I think as long as you spam greater invis here, you live. Let that aim shot connect. As greater invis, get to your healer's line. Greater invis is like, I know it's only 3 seconds of 60% damage reduct, but it's way better than you think. Like you could use it at like 15% HP, and it's essentially almost like an ice block. This is such a strong defensive button. People really it's kind of an underrated button, I feel like. In terms of, when I VOD review clients and viewers, this is so underused that I can't, and same with mirror images, I can't stress it enough that these are all defensive buttons you have to be pressing early. In a perfect world, you would never ever press block until this is on cooldown, this is on cooldown, this is on cooldown, this is on cooldown, and this is on cooldown. Obviously, sometimes your altar comes back as you're low HP, so you can't send it. But even at that point, you would altar back in the same global to reset a shimmer to like blink behind a pillar to avoid damage. Like there's so much you can do. And then positionally too, like being on the other side of the pillar is awkward. Like these little things, they add up so much. Because later on, you might lose a round because you don't have block. But the thing is, you wouldn't have had to block when you did, right? All these things, they matter so much. And then, like, again, in terms of the offensive, like not min-maxing your damage, those things, imagine that creates like a 500 CR gap if you compare it to a mage that is min-maxing these little things, right? So it's things to work on. It's things to work on. These are also the nice thing is these are easy fixes. So after one VOD review, like you'll be way better at using mirror images. You'll be way better at min-maxing. Like you'll probably just sit in front of a target dummy and practice what I told you about the barrage touches and min-maxing your nether positions. These are very easy fixes. You can just fix this in one day, and you could climb easily like 100 to 200 CR if you really take this advice seriously. You can 100% you can do it. Again, mirror images. Need to mirror image. Need to mirror image. Need to mirror image. You're running in there with no block. You need to like abuse this pillar, right? Like make it annoying for the hunter. Then imagine you were the hunter, and you're fighting a mage, and he just every time he's about to get his aim shot off, he just moves 1 inch, lines the aim shot. You come back out, you're missiling him. He tries to aim shot you, you line 1 inch, and like imagine how annoying that would be. You got to make it annoying for your enemies, right? But instead, you're standing in the open, just free tanking damage. The hunter turtles though for free. That's very free. He did not have to turtle there. See, that's the thing. You might not be min-maxing, but at this rating, no one is min-maxing anything, right? So you can still like capitalize on others' mistakes. I would look to shift here. This is a great time to shift because it's up and you have no offensives. At this point, you've actually pressed mirror images and G-invis. You have no block. You have no altar. This would be the most, and you're also behind the pillar here. I would just stand right here, make sure you don't get kicked, and shift. This is the highest value shift you can do. Yeah, see how you're like blinking in the open? Just keep lining. Shield here, yeah. Shield, line. You're kind of losing steam here a little bit. You're losing a bit of momentum, but the enemy team doesn't have a lot of cooldowns either. It's a very winnable round. Yeah, good. Yeah, this is what I was gonna say. Ice flow shift. Okay, you alter back. Get your OP barrier shimmer off or blink off. You sheep. He grounds the sheep. Okay, you guys are recovered here. You have touch coming back. This is very winnable. At this point, like I would be trying to spam out a couple barrages to start getting your tempo stacks up, and then looking to do a touch go. On the hunter, ideally, because we know he has no turtle. But at this point, like don't sacrifice positioning too much because you have no CDs either, right? So if you have to send it on the shaman, send it on the shaman. But ideally, prio the hunter. Also, okay, we get a sheep. See where you're standing. And see where the pillar is. You want to be playing a little closer to the pillar, so that way you can, if you need to, you can just move an inch in your lining, stuff like aim shots. It's good you actually get the sheep here, but it's unfortunate that it's overlapped with the clone. At this point, I wouldn't look to over commit CC, like don't force it, right? At this point, it's so important. Dampening kicks in way faster in Shuffle. And at this point, it's pretty deep into the round. So if you do take a lot of damage, it's going to be very hard to recover from this. So your number one priority should be avoiding damage and trying to get your touch crank out. But again, while avoiding damage, because you have no defensives, no mirrors, no G-invis, no block. Like it's going to be very hard to recover. Your paladin has no bubble, no sack. He has a bop, but I mean, who knows if he's going to use it, right? It's Shuffle at 2k MMR. You got to play for yourself, position well. Like right now, I don't like where you're standing right now. Yeah, this is what I mean. So you got to stay a little bit closer to the pillar, play a giga safe at this point into the round. Giga safe. But again, like in a perfect world, you would still have block right now, right? So this is where you would be blocking. So like from that round, I would take away not even anything offensive, but just purely defensive and positioning. Defensive trading and positioning. It matters so much. Okay, so here... it's a Boomy Ellie. I would go Boomy if possible. Again, why? Because if you need to slow down the game, because you're going Boomy, you could just sheep the off target, which is the Ellie, and slow down the game if you need to. If you go the Ellie, you can't sheep a Boomy, right? That's like kind of my mindset. So I'll usually go Boomy. It's good to shut down a Boomy too in general. But again, conditions change throughout a round, depending on what defenses are being used, how they're positioned, what CDs you guys have. But just to start, that's what's in my mind. Again, you're surging the liquid magma totem. I would prio getting your barrages out to start stacking tempos instead. And again, I would highly consider, instead of playing blink stun with ice flows, to play shimmer, because it's going to make you a lot slipperier and it's going to help with ease of positioning. I do like you have the right mindset. You're trying to get that surge up as easy as possible, right? so you can start your crank. But I mean, this isn't too bad. Let's see. Let me go back again. It's just a little awkward when you have to evo once your surge is up because you're losing like 3 seconds of your surge window while you have 0 tempo stacks, which is your extra haste. And then you touch, yeah. Again, I'm gonna just repeat it one more time because I'm sure you get the point by now. But barrage touch, and maybe use a missiles and an orb to get 4 charges. So then that barrage that you're touching is higher damage. So it's making your touch explode bigger, if that makes sense. So I'm not gonna repeat it anymore. But one last time. Get 4 charges by using a missiles and an orb maybe. And then barrage touch while it's in the air. Same like, you know, 1.1 second gap since you can touch off global. Because like, yeah, helps you get a tempo too. Last time I'm repeating it. I'm sure you get it. You'll get it by now. Next, if we do another session, you're going to be barrage touching every touch. And I know you will be. I know you will be. So we send it on the boomy. Missiles. I want to see a palm blast here. I want to see a palm blast. Okay, you sheep. You try to sheep the Ellie, I think. He grounds it. I want to see a palm blast here. Blinking. It needs to be palm blast. It needs to be palm blast. Palm. Okay, see how you press palm and then you start missiling. It needs to be palm blast, so you're getting nether precision value, and your palm is not grayed out, and it doesn't desync with your touch. Because also, what if you get kicked here? Then now you're desyncing even more. Okay, there you go. So look at the cooldowns right now. You got your palms off there. It's finally on cooldown. So it's desynced by like 11 seconds right now. But you want these to be as non-desynced as possible. So like a 5-second desync would be more ideal. Because then your next touch go, if you're touching and you want a palm blast, you're not like delaying on it. You know what I mean? Because you got to think like, how is this going to affect my next go? And the more that your next go is scuffed, the more you feel the pain of this desync, the more rounds you play, the more you're going to realize how important it is to keep desynced. Same goes with your surge touch goes. You're surging every second touch, right? But if those desync, there's going to be moments where your touch or your surge is up, but you don't have touch for 20 seconds. It becomes so awkward. You're going to soon realize how important syncing everything is. And like juking becomes a very high priority too, because getting locked by 6 seconds screws everything over in terms of desyncage. So that's why yeah, juking as Arcane is so important in an offensive sense, but also in a defensive sense. So right now you don't have much damage out. You don't have clear cast stacks. You don't have touch palm. You don't have surge. At this point, like barraging to keep your tempos up and slow them with chrono shift and spam spell stealing is going to be like some of the highest value things you could be doing. Look at all these purgeable buffs. Mark, Earth Shield. So, I mean, some of them are just piss buffs, but knock into ring. Again, let's see the positioning here. So the Boomy repositioned to their pillar. I would also reposition this way away from the Sham because you knocked them that far. I would just kind of take their pillar now and converge on the Boomy as a unit. Spam barrage him, clean these buffs. Clean these buffs. Those are your buffs, not his. Those are yours. Okay, now we're swapping targets here. Not bad. That's not the worst. You touch the Sham. You touch the Sham, you're missiling him. See right here, you touch, look at your globals, you touch missile. Imagine how nice it would be to palm blast right now, but it's desynced by 7 more seconds, so you can't even do that. And now like this might make your palm and touch desync even further into the next go. Because like maybe like right as your palm comes up, you get CC'd or something, right? Let's see what happens. You kill the ground, good kill on ground. I like it. You're clicking the totems. So you're hard casting Arcane Blast. And now your palm's up, but now are you gonna use it? Let's see what happens. Missiles. Palm, now you use it. Palm. And then you barrage instead of blasting. You use one blast. You use one blast, but then you barrage. Okay. See, now look how much more your palm and touch are desynced. It was 11 seconds earlier, and now it's what? Is that 18 seconds? I can't do the math. Is that 18 seconds? Regardless, it's desynced even more. So now for your third go with your surge, now you're gonna surge in 23 seconds and you're gonna touch in 27. Now you can't palm for even longer. So like I can't stress this enough. You gotta keep these as tight as possible. You force wall from the Sham. Again, ideally it'd be better to hard commit the Druid at that point. But I mean, it's not the worst. I'd look to mirror image soon if they are targeting you for damage reduct. You get a half sheep there. Let me go back here. Okay. It's a half sheep because it's a chastise DR for 10 more seconds. Ideally, your pre should be playing chast stun, not chast incap with this comp because you have traps and polys. But I mean, it's 2k MMR, right? Okay, you have... Oh, okay. Wait, you actually did press mirror image. Let's see where you press it. You press it there. Okay, that's a good mirror image. I would also, at this point, star surges are coming in, right? So at this point, I would mirror image and then also greater invis, 60% dam reduct. I would hate to see you block right now before you press greater invis. Okay, greater invis. Good, good, good. Careful with your positioning. Kind of playing ring around the rosy around this pillar. Just keep an eye on your healer here. Instead of like going around that way, you can just kind of hug this side of the pillar. Make sure you're staying in your healer's line. Because when you go this way, it makes it a little awkward because now you're lining your healer a bit. Like what if he's trying to power word life you here or serenity you here? Okay, you shift. Okay, so the shift helps recover the desyncage a little bit. And now you have everything back. You're going to probably Evo here. You're surging. Make sure you Evo before surge, ideally. Alter kind of low. See how you're just lining your healer right now? Oh, and you might have to block. Okay, he swaps. Okay, stay offensive. Good. Okay, let's see. Oh, you actually barrage touch there. Missiles. Hopefully you palm blast here. Okay, barrage palm. Okay. Maybe that was intuition. I'm not sure. Palm blast. Okay, this is good. So far, out of all the rounds, this have been like your best offensive rotation. Sham. Okay, he gets chastised. Sham has no wall here. This is good. You might force a burrow here if he doesn't. If he has it. Keep cranking. Get those barrages out. Okay, I think he laid right there. He bubbles. Okay, it's good. At this point, you force what you wanted. You got sack. You got bubble. Try to reposition to a pillar ASAP because right now you have no mirror image. You have no G invis. You have mass barrier and block, but ideally you don't want to be using them right now, right? So reposition. Don't stand in the open. You're gonna take massive damage. Yep, good, good. Blink back to pillar. Your healer grips you. Okay, you're fine now. I would like right now. I would look to shift, but you know you don't have it. But I would look at it, see if I have it. Okay, barraging the trance to get your tempos up. Good. Okay, now you got to be thinking. Okay, I have damage in 17 seconds. Okay, the Sham has no wall. I don't think. I'm still not fully used to looking at your UI, but I think he has no wall. But the Boomy also doesn't have many cooldowns, and the Paladin he has no sack and bubble either. So I think at this point I could be wrong, but I think anything is a good target here. Okay, you're tracking CDs on their nameplates. I see. Okay, so Sham has wall in 16. I think at this point, Boomy's a better target because again, you could sheep the Shaman to slow down the game, and the Boomy has no skin, or renewal, or he doesn't have much. So I think Boomy's a better target here. You gotta think in these moments, right? It's deeper in the game. You gotta see like what cooldowns do they have. That's gonna tell you what the best target choice is in that moment. Okay, mirror image, perfect. Good mirror image there. You press it off CD as your healer gets cloned, so that's 25 to 20% damage reduct for 3 big hits. Knock. Yeah, try to line the LE here. You have touch soon. Just good spell steals. Oh my god, those are really good spell steals right now. Triple spell steals. The Boomy's clean. Make sure you're barraging to get some tempo stacks and look to pre-build for your touch go on the Boomy here. This is very winnable. This is very winnable. Okay, you CS the Pala. Okay. You sheep him. Okay. We need to do a touch go on the Boomy here. Need a touch go on the Boomy. You DB him. Okay, you send it on the LE instead. The problem with this is LE has wall back now, so whereas Boomy had no skin, no renewal. So if I mean best case scenario, you force a wall here. You get hexed on your go. You trinket it. Okay, you got your palm blast off. Ooh, okay. Does he wall? Okay, he burrows. I'm not sure. Maybe he didn't have wall. I think he did, but he just didn't press it at this MMR. Oh, the Boomy's dying. They're crumbling. They're crumbling. This is good pressure. Okay, quarter poly. We'll just look to missile barrage the boomy, missile barrage the boomy, missile barrage. Okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah, see how like you sent your touch on the Ellie, but the boomy still ended up dying. So boomy was clearly the better target. Just little things like that, very important. So far we've covered some positioning, some defensive usage, how to min-max your damage, the target choice. That it really comes down to cooldowns here. This Ellie like almost died, but he had burrow and wall still, so he was completely fine on paper. So at this point, like reevaluate right now. At this point, let me go back a little bit more. Like here, it's really good. Like you're even pre-cleaning the boomy here. You CS the rep. You full poly the guy. At this point, you need to know. You full sheep the healer. You need to know. Okay, what am I touching here? You have touch. So like sheep's. I mean, it lasts only 6 seconds. You don't have too much time, so you need to be sending your touch ASAP on. You need to know what you're going by this point, right? Yo, throw some. Thank you for the tier 1 sub, bro. Thank you. I appreciate that. And sorry, I'm not reading chat right now. I'm doing a VOD review right now, a viewer VOD review. So I'm trying to lock in. I'm trying not to get distracted. What's up, Limbo? What's up, Lurks? But right here, yeah, the touch needs to come out. The longer you're taking to press your touch, the more your poly CD is running out. Poly duration is running out. So you don't have much time. You want to be pressing this. The second, like in a perfect world, second the healer sheet, the boom, touch goes out. Barrage touch with 4 charges, ideally, right? So, you touch right here. You touch right here with 2 seconds left of poly, and that makes it awkward because if you do want to re-it, now you have to start casting sheep the second you press touch. Whereas instead, you want to be missile, palm, blast, and cranking, right? So like the pressing touch earlier gives you a window to do more damage and still get a re-sheep. And maybe juke a shear, proc a precog, get that sheep, and then free cast more blast or whatever. But just try to keep in mind, try to keep in the back of your mind, what is the best target right now? What is the best target right now? And also, like, do I have damage? If I don't, maybe I should reposition to avoid damage. Because that's what Shuffle really comes down to, man, is doing the most damage possible and avoiding the most damage possible. That's all it comes down to. And CC matters, but not as much as it would in 3s or like the older versions of the game, because dampening kicks in extra fast in Shuffle. So like you don't need CC to win the game because dampening. But that's why it makes it so important to avoid damage too. So like positioning is super important, super important. But like in terms of like the basics, you definitely have the basics down. You just gotta like clean up everything, you know? Like you know how to play Arcane Mage. You just have to tighten things up. And like I'm telling you, you will go up 300 to 400 MMR. I'm not even joking when I say this. If you take this advice to heart, you will go up 300 to 400 MMR fairly quickly. Like these are easy corrections, very easy corrections. I know you can do it.
Victory is clear.
Okay, now you're fighting Boomy Hunter. Again, I mean, there's no totems to surge now, so... And hunters don't play... hunters don't play pets anymore, right? Or do they? Okay, so, like, again, the round starts and you blink into the open. Like, what if the hunter comes out of stealth and starts blasting you? You can literally 100 to, like, 40 you in one global, right? Like, play a little bit closer to the pillar and just spam barrage what you can to start stacking up tempos. Let me go back here. Because, like, you're also playing blink stun. And now if you get intimed or bashed or something, you can't even blink out of it. So like you're exposing yourself so early in the game here. This is the reason why you end up having to block fast, you know, on top of not pressing mirrors fast enough. Again, I would play, this would be me right here. I would stand right here for a sec, reevaluate my situation. I mean, you're fighting 2 stealthies, right? No, I think he's playing... I could be wrong, but I don't think he's playing Sunfury. He's playing Spell Slinger. That's why I was telling him you should play Sunfury, because it's better in PvP now. Or like, I mean, this pillar's fine too. Just play at a pillar until a window opens. There's no windows open right now. They're both in stealth. What are you going to do? Start surging the Pala? You could take their pillar and start barraging the Pala to start stack tempos. I mean, you could do that too, but play near a pillar. Play near a pillar, so you have the option to LOS an aim shot if need be. Because right now, blinking out here, you're giving yourself no options in terms of avoiding damage, aside from forcing yourself to press a defensive. Okay, at this point, okay, he freedoms. At this point, you know, I'd look to maybe spell steal the freedom, and then once you get a freedom, start barraging that target to slow them and stack up your tempo haystacks. This is fine. Like, you're at a pillar now. This is good because if the hunter comes out, you at least have this pillar. Doesn't really matter what pillar, but be at a pillar, and then like hopefully your teammates converge with you. Okay, all right. I think. Okay, I think the shaman sheared by accident there, or what happened there? Did you CS? Oh, I thought you CS'd him. This is so weird, by the way. It confused me. I think you fat fingered CS there, but the weird thing is this is your CS, but this is your focus CS. But why does your focus CS not go on CD when you CS normally? That's strange. I've never seen that before. But I mean, that's just probably just a mechanical error, not a decision-making error, right? It happens. It happens. I've done that before. But anyways, your spell stealing, good. You alter high, very good. That's probably the highest alter I've seen you do so far. Out of this, again, mirror image. Mirror image out of this ASAP and start barraging to stack up your tempos. You're at a pillar right now, so that's good. Okay, your shaman's getting cranked, okay. See how you try to cast poly, but they have beam to interrupt you. They have hunter kick to interrupt you. It should be mirror image for the damn reduct. And then you can, if you want to, then you can attempt to open up your school and sheep something. And if you, ideally juke, but if you do get kicked, it's not the end of the world because you have some damn mitigation up, right? You alter back, mirror image, mirror image, mirror image. I would mirror image. At this point, so you blink back to where your teammates are, but it's actually fine to stay at this pillar because the hunter's over here. So as long as you're lining the hunter and you're standing right here, I would just mirror image. This is what I would do. I would mirror image. I would shield. I would evo right now to get the dam up and then attempt to maybe sheep the pala and then surge the boomy, meanwhile lining the hunter. Because at least at this point you're kind of taking damage from the boomy, but at least you're lining the hunter. You don't need to like blink all the way back there. Right now, like you could maybe get a free sheep on the pala or even force a sack from the pala here. Oh, yo, Boalak and Baker, you appreciate the raids, guys. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, guys. I'm doing a VOD review right now. Appreciate you guys, though. Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome. So, let's see here. So, you blink back. You Evo now. Now you're surging. Okay, now, oh, the sack comes out, but it's on the hunter. This is really good for you because you're going to be going boomy anyways. Okay, he melds your surge. It's fine. Now you're surging again. Get your surge off. Missiles, okay. Good. Also, I haven't been keeping an eye on your intuitions because with my intuition, I use a specific weak word that procs up here. I know the default one's like proc right here, but I don't have an eye for it, so I'm not even seeing if you're pressing your intuition barrages, but hopefully you are. Generally, like if intuition procs, you want to barrage, like 99% of the time you want to send that barrage. Ideally with 4 charges. When intuition procs, it only lasts 3 seconds, so there's a very small window to press barrage, but it refreshes your charges, so like you want to be pressing it every time. It also buffs the amount of damage your barrage does, so you want to have 4. You'll have time since it's 3 seconds to, if you have no charges, you can orb to get charges and then barrage to make that intuition higher value. So just make sure if you're getting intuition, make sure you're pressing it. Again, I haven't been seeing. Let's go back here a little bit. I just want to see this damage window on the boomy. We surge. Missiles. At this point, like, this is your surge window, so you want to push up on them because this is your go, right? You need to take advantage of this. Usually, like, what I do is if I have alter, I'll alter high and shimmer in and just crank them. And then if I need to alter back out, I can. But since you don't have alter, like, again, you need to press mirror images and then push in with that, and then you can at least displace back if needed, right? Because you want to have an option. If you're ever pushing it, you want to have the option to pull out. Yeah, you don't like full go in and then block, right? But right now you need to be pushing in. This is your surge touch. You need to get your palm blasts out. Nice DB. I would have attempted to DB ring this because there's double. But I think you break your own DB with missiling the pala there. You trinket that. Palm blast, okay. Got to tighten up the palm blast with the touch CD. Right now, you still haven't fully sent both your palms. Now your touch palm is very desynced. Very, very. This is the most desynced palm blast I've seen from you so far. At that point, yeah, you just need to focus cranking a little bit harder during your surge window. Playing Sun Fury is going to help with this a lot too, by the way. It makes your surge window way more deadly. They skin. Intuition Barrage, good. Alright, at this point you have no damage, so it's a little awkward. You just, at this point, try to avoid damage and slow down the game, peel damage. Sheep the Hunter if you think it's good. Right now your Sham has no wall for 19 seconds, so... And your healer just GS him, just slow down the game. You have no damage right now, and you have no surge, touch, palm for a while. See, like, sheeping the Pala here is fine, but you don't really have damage to follow up with it, right? So, you still have G-Invis for 60% damage reduction if you needed. You have shift coming back. You can shift everything back here. Good. Good shift. Now now it's your window to crank. Okay, you Ring of Frost around. Okay, you bait a kick for free. Right here, I mean, the Hunter kicks you for free. So I would actually just sheep the Hunter right here. As soon as he kicks you, I would just sheep the Hunter and then Evo and try to surge and do my go. I think, let's see cooldowns. I think Boomy is the best target here again, but he has skin and stuff. I mean, they still have a lot of cooldowns, I think. But I think, again, it's still Boomy because you can sheep the off target, which is the Hunter, to slow down the game if needed. Ooh, this is so good. The Boomy's lassoed right now. You can cast a Surge here. He probably will trinket it, though. He sits it. Surge. Okay, Evo. You need to crank really hard here. I want to see lots of nether precision usage. So let's see. So you blink in. Okay, you have your Evo and Surge up. Okay, you touch. Missiles. Palm Blast. Please Palm Blast. Please Palm Blast. Unova. Palm Blast. See, too many missiles. Too many missiles. Palm Blast. One more blast. One more blast. Good. Now missiles again. See, you want to missiles again before the barrage to refresh your nether precision to buff that barrage. And maybe get him a little lower to execute range when that barrage hits so hard, right? This is good. This is good cranks, though. Good cranks. That's good cranks. See, that was a good crank window. It just can be at min-max a little bit better, you know? But I love how you use both your Palm Blast there. You didn't desync it this time. Look at this. Look at this. Only 5 seconds of desyncage in your Palm touch. That's the best I've seen so far. But, like, the game was over anyway, so it doesn't matter, right? But this is how it needs to be more often. Let's see how many Arcane Debilitation stacks he had. Because since you missiles twice. 1, 2. Okay, so you had 23 stacks of Arcane Debilitation. And again, you Palm Blast, you Barrage. I mean, barraging there is fine, but ideally, you know, you missiles just for a tick even, just to get the nether precision and get a bigger execute. But, I mean, that was a pretty solid crank window. That was really important that you did that there because, yeah. I mean, it was looking fine. I think your Shaman's wall was rotated back up. He had Burrow. You had Block. You had Angel coming back. This is looking like a pretty solid round for you guys. But again, like, the higher rating you get, the more difficult and the less window of... the less room for error there is, right? So it's good that you, like, clean up these bad habits sooner than later if you're looking to actually climb to 2,500, because I think that's what you told me is your goal is 2,500, right? So all of these bad habits you clean up now, and you'll make it. You'll make it.
Do not let the cartel down. We expect a return on our investment.
I try, Limbo. I try. Okay, so let's see here. You get rooted. Okay, Barrage first global. Getting the nether precisions. Surging the totem, you get beamed. That's fine. Like, him beaming you this early in the round, like, I'm okay with that. Get it out of the way. It's one less kick to worry about during your crank window. Okay, after this, you know, I would look to Barrage again. Maybe get okay, Surge the totem. That's good. I love that you Surge totems. Evo. But again, like, I think here I would Barrage the totem. This is what I would do. I would Barrage the totem to refresh tempo, then Evo, then Surge. Because at that point, now you got your Surge off, but you already have your Evo damage buff up, and you have at least a tempo stack. And then I would, like, maybe missiles to get a few charges, then Barrage touch. right? So that way that barrage that's going into the touch has a little bit of damage amplified from your charges rather than it just being 0 charges. Because like right now you surge, but now you have to Evo and you're losing 3 seconds of your surge window, right? You missiles, okay. You missiles, okay. So you touch missiles, all right. Good, I'm not gonna repeat myself from earlier. You already know what you need to do there better. Okay, so you get clone. Let me go back here. You get bashed. You trinket it. And then you get Chas cloned, okay. That's unfortunate. I mean, this sucks. Like, this feeling sucks when you get CC'd on your surge. But I mean, it's gonna happen. It's definitely like one of the most frustrating feelings as an Arcane Mage, like getting stuck in CC with no outs. Like sometimes, like when the enemy teams don't have CDs left, like I even just block it to finish out the game. But I mean, this is so early in the round, that's obviously not worth it. But sometimes things like that can be worth. Okay, Boomy's wrapped. Your palm is desyncing. Your palm is desyncing. Your palm is desyncing more and more every second. My eyes. Okay, intuition barrage, good. Unfortunately, at this point, like, fortunately at this point, like you're gonna use your palms for your next touch at this point, you know, because you still have 2 charges left. But if you accidentally palm blast at anywhere near this time, then you won't have a palm blast for the next touch. Like at this point, you would have wanted to put palm on CD by using both stacks and then shift your touch palm back and your mirror image and your greater invis. And then you could already be doing a second touch go with a second palm by now, right? If you do the math at this point, because you would have shifted back your touch. The more goes per round, the better. Again, just don't overthink it. At this point, you hit closest. The Shaman is the closest with no wall. So it's a great target to touch. See it? Okay, now you use your second touch. You still have your first palm from earlier. Just like I said earlier. Palm blast here. Blast. You're barraging when you should be blasting. Look at this. So you touched missiles, then you barraged, cleared your stacks, then you palm blast with 0 charges, right? That ain't good. You want to be palm blasting with 4 charges, minimum 3. So because you barrage, you cleared your stacks, and you didn't proc an orb, you didn't have an intuition, so this is not good. You don't want to be blasting with 0 charges. That does literally negative damn. So not only did you desync your first touch palm, but the second round of touch, you're getting 0 palm value. So like you're almost playing without palm this round. But at least your palm is not desynced for the next one now. At this point, like you still haven't shifted, so you can shift back now your Evo, Surge, Touch, Palm. You can do a third go pretty soon here. You're shifting back this as well. Let me go back here. Let's see what you guys force here defensively. I like your positioning here. Look how you're like playing closer to the pillar this time, and now you can like line hexes without even having to waste CS if he's attempting to hex you, which he probably was there. Why is palm blasting so important? Is it just for the talent that increases your arcane damage by 10%? Well, so in PvE they don't play palm, but in PvP like there's so much more CC you have to deal with and kicks and stuff like that, right? So any sort of instant cast damage is great in PvP because it's just instantaneous guaranteed damage. The thing about Arcane Blast is in Dragonflight it hit really hard, but in the War Within it doesn't really hit that hard anymore. But it's still good to do because it's that additional like 2 mil damage. But on top of that, you have a chance to proc more clear cast from it. And also, it's really important that you use ASAP after you touch because they're both 45 seconds cooldown. But the thing is, Palm doesn't go on cooldown. Even if you press it, it doesn't go on cooldown until you've consumed both the charges of Palm. So like that's why it's so important that you use them together. So that way you can always use them together. What happens if you don't use it as soon as possible after you touch is it desyncs and now you can't use them together and that devalues both CDs even further. And also, whenever you consume a clear cast missiles, you get another precision buff, which buffs your blast and barrage damage, your next 2 blast barrages by 20%. So that amplifies that. But yeah, those are the reasons why you want to be palm blasting every time. The thing is, you can't touch palm blast every time right away because sometimes you would need to squeeze in a missiles in between to get a clear cast. You're not, yeah, you're most of the time you're not gonna be like pressing touch palm blast right together. But again, you just want to try to tighten it up as much as possible. Thank you, Bubble. Thank you, bro. Like all these things that they make or break. Like, you know, I was an intermediate Arcane Mage with like maybe a top of the ladder Arcane Mage. Like these things matter a lot. So you're shifting everything back now. So you have another go soon. We are past the hour at this point though. Like I've been. By the way, we're 13 minutes into this VOD, and I've been VOD reviewing for an hour. So we'll make this last round because I think we've covered like pretty much everything you could at this point in terms of the basics. So we'll cut it at this round. Let's see what happens though. Let's see what happens. Again, your Evo Surge touch palm windows back. You got to full crank it out here. The Sham has no wall. Boomy has everything, I think. You lock Boomy there. See what happens. Okay. Again, like I'm noticing you are surging first. Like, see how you have 4 offensive buttons? Like this is your rotation. You're doing surge first, then Evo, and then you're touching, and then you're palming super late. Like this isn't even a 4. This is like a 6. That's how late you're doing it. So this shouldn't be the order. The order should be Evo first, then touch. Actually, in the order you have the buttons set up, 3, and then bring this from a 6 to a 4. You know, so you can tighten these up. This is how it should look. But like you're doing this backwards too much, I think. Sometimes it's okay to do, but you're doing it too much. Like more than half the time you're surging first. So try to work on that. It's like don't surge here, Evo first. And again, like before you do your go, try to pre-clean the target as much as possible. Look at Fort, Mark. Like all these buffs are free. They should be yours, not his. Those are your buffs. See how you're evoing now when you're 4 seconds into your surge? Not ideal. Not ideal. Missiles, okay. DB, that's fine. DB. Let's see your globals here. Okay, let me go back. Let me go back here. Surge, blink, barrage. Okay. Shield, Evo. You gotta be pressing more offensive globals here. And don't barrage there, because that could, if you're gonna barrage, you should touch with it then, right? If you're gonna barrage, you should touch with it. But then you Evo. It's just like making it really weird. This is making it so your surge window, instead of being 15 seconds, you're only giving yourself like 8 seconds to work with, right? So you're almost halving your surge window duration by delaying everything here. So you touch missiles, palm. Let's see. Okay, you get sheared. Blast wave, palm. Blast twice, please. Once, twice. Good. You should G invis here because you're so low. 60%. Don't block. G invis. Good. He tops you too. Good. Now add missiles for another nether precision. Good. Oh my god, your globals are beautiful here right now. They're great, man. Now you should barrage. Okay, so you missed those twice. You should barrage there. Barrage now. This is not bad. That was a great sequence actually. I was very worried you were gonna waste block there, but you didn't. Okay, you quarter ring though. Careful with that. You know, the rep DRs with ring. You know, you could have full sheeped in 7 seconds, but now you just refresh this to do a quarter ring. That is the definition of piss ring right there. Don't want to be doing that. Be careful. You get hexed. Feared. Okay. You don't have shift yet. You have touch coming back soon though. I would at this point. I think I would commit to the shaman. I'm trying to see what CDs you have or they have. It's hard to see because you track cooldowns on their nameplates, which is a fine thing to do, but I'm not used to this. Killing the stream. Respect. I do like that you kill totems. You know, a lot of mages I've VOD review, they don't bother to kill groundings. They don't bother to kill tides. I've never see them surge totems or pets to get a easy surge off. Like this is, you're doing good stuff there. Like that stuff is huge. Okay, there's the barrage touch. Okay, missiles. All right, it's like you're listening to the VOD review live right now. Oh, you sheep him? Okay, okay. I wouldn't have sheeped him there. This is your go. You're doing a touch go on him. You shouldn't sheep him. You should. Well, that's the thing. It becomes awkward because your palm is desynced by 3 more seconds there. You would normally palm blast here after you touch missiles, right? But now you can't. So now you're sheeping him, and then you shift in front of his face to shift back that palm. Okay, and then you palm blast. Okay, I mean, I see you. See, it's weird though. It's weird. Okay, kill the grounding. Click the grounding. Click the grounding. Okay, it dies. Okay, now you block. Okay, at this point, I mean, I would have shielded first. I'm looking at your cooldowns. Block again should be last resort. You have no mirror images, no GMs. It should be shield though. You have shield. Let's go back. Go back. Go back. Yeah, it should be shield here. OP barriers OP. You want to shield there, and then you might get a free shimmer invis from it if it breaks. And there's a high chance it breaks. It's so deep and damp that the shield is smaller, right? So you might get a free if it doesn't bug. And then you could just barrage and kill him here, right? Oh, like then he burrows. Oh God, bubble. I don't know about that one. I wish I could VOD review Cubsy sometimes, though. I wish I could. He's too secretive, though. Yeah. Oh, you have orbs. You have 2 stacks of orbs there. This is a perfect time to just send an orb. Why? Because an orb right here would guarantee 4 charges. I would barrage to clear my charges, orb if you don't get an orb proc. And because the Ellie and the pet are stacked here, it's going to give you more charges. So I would barrage, orb, barrage while this healer's in CC right now and just finish out the game. And you're funnel damaging him right here off of his pets too, right? So right there, you barrage, you cleared your stack, you should barrage right there. Or sorry, orb right there. Barrage again, and then orb, barrage again. And you might just kill him here, or force a swap if he still has swap. He angels. Oh my God! See right now, you look what's happening right now. You've barraged 3 globals in a row with 0 charges, and he's at 5% HP, 600k. Imagine if you orb barrage there, he would have been dead, right? You see what I'm trying to say? Barraging with 0 charges is like little to no damage. The only reason you do that is to keep tempo stacks up and chrono shift slow them. But here he's so low. You have 2 charges of orb. You got to utilize these. That's when you press orb. By the way, is when you have no charges and you need charges, and you can hit the orb. You can hit multiple targets with the orb. Because you get 1 charge by pressing orb, and you get an additional charge for every target the orb hits. So like because there's 2 there, that would be 3 orbs, right? And 3 orb barrage is better than 0 charges. So that's the math right there. Quick maths. And Ellie would be dead. But maybe he dies anyways. Maybe he dies. Oh, it's such a waste, man. It's such a waste. I mean, hopefully you learn from the pain right there. Orb is too good. Anyways, that's an hour. We're over the hour. I feel like that's the longest I spent on a 15 minutes of gameplay. But at this point, I think we've covered mostly all the basics. I don't want to load you with too much information for the first VOD review, but please apply the things we went over today. I can promise you, I think you're at 2k MMR right now. I can help you get to 2.4, 2.5 MMR. I can help you get there. Just take this advice heavily, bro. Just apply these. Come back next week with a fresh set of VODs, and we'll tweak the new sticking points. We will tweak them, and yeah, you'll hit your goals, bro. You'll hit your goals. Just really apply these. But yeah, thank you for taking the VOD review. Message me on Cord if you have any questions, and yeah, we'll keep in touch.